Hello everyone, my name is Alicia Jackson. I'm a licensed professional counselor. Today we're going to talk about a little heavy topic. What has the pandemic done to our self-care? Yeah, how has it affected it? And so this is our, part of our series of self-care, and we're looking into it and really defining what it is, that we realize it is more than just like an act, like one act or scheduling it, that is like a lifestyle, right? What we're going to kind of look at is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. For those who have taken like a psychology course in their undergrad or maybe even high school, so you may be familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but it's really like a pyramid, it's really like a foundation of how we meet our needs. And so our physiological needs being first, like having air, water, food, shelter, clothing, being able to reproduce. So if you remember, during the pandemic, when it first started, this was like our major concerns, and we were like on lockdown, and it was a lot. At least for those in the area where I'm at, which is Michigan, we were on lockdown for quite some time. We called it on punishment. And so we were concerned about like, okay, groceries, how we get groceries safely, washing our groceries, keeping Amazon packages on the porch for, a couple days to make sure. It was a lot of things, and people were, even though the CDC was saying that it was okay to order takeout, but people were nervous about it too, and like taking extra precautions about it, getting gas, all this stuff, wearing gloves, pretty much almost like felt like you had to wear a hazmat suit to, go places, because we were just so nervous about our health and our safety. And so we were very, what we call hypervigilant. We were on high alert about our safety needs. And that has been, and thank goodness it's been lessened, but it's still been present for the last 18 to 19 months. We have still been like high alert, looking at the COVID numbers, following the CDC's ever-changing sometimes, recommendations. Can we travel? Can we not travel? Can I go meet with my friends? Is it, do we have to wear masks, or is it safe? Okay, vaccinations, all these things. Like, there's so many things now that we have to be aware of that we didn't have to be aware of before March 2020. Okay, and so I want to just affirm and validate that experience, because it's exhausting. It is exhausting to be in survival mode for any period of time, let alone how long we've been in survival mode. It's exhausting. And then life has not stopped. People, there's other things that are going on in our lives outside of the pandemic for the last year and a half, so it's been challenging. It's been challenging to manage life, whether it's your kids going to school or not going to school, virtual, hybrid, back and forth, all of that, making sure you're taking care of yourself, has like kind of maybe fallen on the wayside. And then a lot of people have experienced a lot of increased anxiety because of that. And we're not even going to talk about, let alone people who have experienced death of a loved one during this season, because it has truly been, as a person who has lost a loved one, not from COVID, but through the pandemic, it feels so different, versus me. I have experienced death of a family member and a loved one before, and received such support. And not saying that I didn't receive support during the pandemic, it just felt different because of the distance. So learning to get accustomed to that, get used to that. And so that's a huge transition. And so what has the pandemic done to our self-care? It's really for us to take into consideration these two questions. What habits have we fallen into? And what habits have we fallen out of? So thinking about that, what habits have we fallen into? Some people have shared, that they are shopping more than they would ever do because they're home more and they're bored. And what do I do with this money? So they're shopping more, spending more money when necessarily they may not need to. Again, more people are in-house more because of the fear of going out and the safety and, especially the Delta variant, all of these things. So a lot of socialization has kind of decreased in frequency because of that. And it's caused like Zoom burnout. Like I've grown accustomed to the video because that's pretty much how I see most of my clients is through video. So I've grown accustomed to that. And at the same time though, it is as much as it's convenient, it can be kind of still very distant, especially when you're trying to connect socially with your friends and your family. Okay. And so we kind of grown out of our social patterns. Spirituality feels different for those who gather in spaces of worship. Our sleep, people's sleep patterns are different now. They're sleeping maybe more than they normally would, not exercising or moving as much because they're working from home. There's so many things that we've fallen into because of the pandemic, and then falling out of, right? So falling out of maybe normal routine habits like hygiene, again, connecting with others. I think we are maybe observation. We are it's an extra push, because we are so really exhausted, because we're so exhausted from all the things that are pandemic, that doing more feels like, oh, come on, it just feels like I have to do these things? No, I don't have to do these things. I'm already doing all this other stuff. I gotta do this too. And so it's an extra push. There's an extra push to motivate yourself to do the things that you need to do to take care of yourself. And so making sure that we're taking a look at what we need to do in order to readjust, what adjustments we need to make within ourselves in order to take care of ourselves in the way that we know we should be doing. It's very, very important because through this pandemic, it has been truly a traumatic and a transformative experience, and that the world is going through, okay? And so we need to make sure that we're taking our time to assess our needs. And so we talked about what is and how do we make those adjustments. And I think that's the biggest piece. And so I'm gonna kind of leave us with that of how do we make those adjustments. First, we're gonna do it with some compassion. We're gonna be kind. I don't want to get my, do I need to get my be kind sign? I can, hold on, do it? Okay, I'll get my be kind sign. So we need to adhere to, some compassion when we're making these adjustments, being firm with ourselves, but still using compassion, loving language, not calling ourselves stupid or lazy, none of that stuff, but being affirming, because what we have experienced during this pandemic is real. It's a real thing. It's a whole thing. It has disrupted our lives, period. The world. Cargo is being, everything has been affected. Cargo, crops, everything. Can't even go out to eat with your friends the same. Everything has been impacted by the pandemic, okay? And then we're going to SSS. We're going to start small and slow. Take steps. Take small, gradual steps to make the adjustments that we need. We're not going to pile on everything at one time because we're going to get overwhelmed and we're going to quit. we're gonna quit. Okay, that's what's gonna happen. So we have to, the best change, the most sustainable change is gradual change. Doing things one at a time. Okay, that's how we win. That's how we win. And we want to use accountability. We can't do this by ourselves. So find somebody who's gonna tell you the truth about yourself and say, okay, we slipped last week. What we gonna do? What we gonna do this week to get back on? Get back on the good foot. Come on, what we gonna do? And help you to hold true to truly the promise and the goals that you have reached for yourself, because they care about you. Yeah, that's how we do it. That's how we make our adjustments that we need to make for ourselves, especially during this time, because we still in it. And that's a lot. It's heavy. It's really heavy. So hopefully this has been beneficial for you to just kind of take a look at what the pandemic has done to our self-care and what can we do to make some adjustments for ourselves, that we can truly like balance and create a lifestyle of self-care, truly a lifestyle of self-care. What do you need to do to take care of yourself daily? What do you need to do to take care of yourself weekly? And truly build it into your practice, but slow and gradually. Thank you so much for listening. If you have not subscribed to my channel, you already know. Alicia Jackson, LPC. See you next time. Peace.